ሰላም ተማሪዎች እንዴት ናችሁ? ሸቱ ነኝ የ11ኛ ክፍል የሂሳብ መምህር ከሉሲ ብሪጅ አካዳሚ። ዛሬ የምንማረው ኢንቨርስ ኦፍ ሪሌሽን። ኦኬ ኢንቨርስ ኦፍ ሪሌሽን ባለፈው ቪዲዮአችን ስለ ሪሌሽን አጥንተናል። ዛሬ ደግሞ ኢንቨርስ ኦፍ ሪሌሽን እናያለን። ከዛ በፊት ግን ልክ እንደ ሁልጊዜው ዌብሳይታችን lucyBridgeAcademy.com እየገባችሁ የአጫጭር ኖቶችን ታገኛላችሁ፣ የጥያቄ ባንኮችን ታገኛላችሁ፣ እንዲሁም ደግሞ ከ5 በላይ ቋንቋዎች መረዳት የሚያስችል የፐርሰናላይዝድ ኤአይ አሲስታንስ ፕላትፎርም ታገኛላችሁ። ስለዚህ አሁኑኑ ሰብስክራይብ እያደረጋችሁ ጆይን አድርጉ። እንዲሁም ለሌሎች ተማሪዎች በስፋት እንድንዳረስ የዩቲዩብ ቻናላችን ሰብስክራይብ አድርጉ፣ የቴሌግራም ቻናላችንም ተቀላቀሉ። አመሰግናለሁ። ኦኬ inverse of relation. Okay, inverse of relations. The inverse of any relation is obtained by interchanging coordinates in each order pairs. All right. We have seen relation R. If the order pair x comma y is an element of R, the inverse will be what? Y comma x. Okay, interchanging x and y. By interchanging x and y, you can find R inverse or the inverse of a given relation. Is that clear? If AB is an ordered pair, of a relation R, then BA will be the elements of R inverse. BA is an ordered pair of the inverse relation denoted by R inverse. You see, this is a definition. R inverse, which is equal to YX, such that X comma Y is an element of R. Okay, if X comma Y is an element of the given relation, Y comma X will be the element of R inverse, right? We will see an example. It's very simple. Look at the relation R which is equal to 3, 4, minus 2, 5, 1, 7, 8, minus 1 is our given relation. So its inverse will be interchanging X and Y, okay? That means 3, 4 in a barrow nominal, 4, 3, minus 2, 5 in a barrow, 5 minus 2, 1, 7 in a barrow, 7, 1, 8 minus 1 in a barrow, minus 1, 8. You want to know what? Okay? So let me define again R inverse which is equal to y comma x such that x comma y is an element of what? X comma y is an element of R, right? So you can define like this, okay? xy in a barrow, yx on a wallet. Good. Now, inverse relations. The domain in the range of inverse relation. What looks like the domain in the range of inverse of a given relation R, right? The inverse of R, which is R inverse, the domain of R inverse is always equal to the range of R. And the range of R inverse is always equal to the domain of R. So, inverse domain እና range ለማወቅ የሬንጁን ዶሜን እና ሬንጅ ካወቅን በቂ ነው። ወይም ደግሞ የተሰጠንን ሪሌሽን ዶሜን እና ሬንጅ የምናውቅ ከሆነ ኢንቨርሱ የሪሌሽናችን ዶሜን ለኢንቨርሱ ሬንጅ ይሆናል። የሪሌሽናችን ሬንጅ ደግሞ ለኢንቨርሱ ዶሜን ይሆናል ማለት ነው። ኦኬ ሉክ the domain of a relation becomes the range of its inverse, and the range of the relation becomes the domain of the inverse, this one, all right? Domain of R inverse is equal to range of R, and range of R inverse is equal to domain of R, or simply R range, okay? Range of R is equal to domain of R inverse, or domain of R which is equal to domain of R is equal to range of R inverse, okay? Domain of R which is equal to range of R inverse, domain and range. Okay, to find the inverse of the relation that is given by an equation in X and Y, በሪሌሽናችን ደግሞ በኦርደር ፔር ካልተገለጸ ወይም በሴት ቢውልደር ሜተድ ከተገለጸ ኢንቨርሱን ለማወቅ የሪሌሽኑን ኢንተርቼንጅ ኤክስ ኤንድ ዋይ በዋይ ቦታ ኤክስን በኤክስ ቦታ ዋይን ስንተካ ኢንቨርሱን እናገኛለን ማለት ነው። ኢንተርቼንጂንግ ኮምፖነንትስ ኦፍ ዘ ኦርደር ፔርስ ኦፍ ዘ ሪሌሽን ኦር ኢንተርቼንጅ ዘ ሮል ኦፍ ኤክስ ኤንድ ዋይ ኢን ዘ ኢኩዌሽን። ኦኬ ሌት ሚ ሲ ኤግዛምፕል። ፋይንድ ዘ ኢንቨርስ ኦፍ ዘ ሪሌሽን። ሉክ find the inverse of the relation. Let me find the first relation R. Yes, r which is equal to xy such that y is equal to minus 3x plus 4. Now we are going to find r inverse. R inverse. Simply we can write like this. R inverse first xy የነበረውን yx እናደርጋለን. Interchange x and y. yx such that y is equal to minus 3x plus 4. Yes? This is r. This is a given relation. This is r and we have r inverse or we can find usually ይሄኛውን ነው የምንጠቀመው r inverse በስፋት x y ን ካልቀየር ነው x, y such that በy ቦታ x እንጽፋለሁ x is equal to minus 3y በx ቦታ y እንጽፋለሁ ማለት ነው plus 4 okay which is equal to xy such that now x which is equal to minus 3y plus 4 write y in terms of x okay that means 3y is equal to minus x plus 4. Now dividing both sides by 3 yes xy such that dividing both sides by 3 y is equal to minus 1 over 3x plus 4 over 3. So this is our inverse, all right? Our inverse. The inverse of y is equal to minus 3x plus 4. The inverse of y is equal to minus 3x plus 4 will be minus 1 over 3x plus 4 over 3. And the next one, y is equal to 4x minus 1. Example 1, this is example 1, okay? And example 2, r which is equal to xy such that y is equal to 4x minus 1. Y is equal to 4x minus 1. So okay. So r inverse is equal to xy x comma y such that now interchange x and y okay በy ቦታ x እንጽፋለሁ x is equal to 4 times በx ቦታ ደግሞ y እንጽፋለሁ minus 1 right just interchanging x and y this is our inverse or but we have to write x which is equal to 4y minus 1 in terms of what just write y in terms of x that means xy such that y is equal to or 4y is equal to x plus 1 which is equal to dividing both sides by 4 xy such that y is equal to 1 over 4x plus 1 over 4 right therefore this is look the equation y is equal to the inverse of simply we can write the inverse of the inverse of y is equal to 4x minus 1 የሚለው linear function ነው የዚህ linear function inverse is y which is equal to 1 over 4x plus 1 over 4. The inverse of a linear function is again linear, right? So you can find the inverse of a given relation by interchanging x and y in the next step, right? Y in terms of x. መጀመሪያ በx ቦታ y መተካት በy ቦታ x እንተኩና y is equal to in terms of x መጻፍ ይኖርብናል ማለት ነው። ከዛ ኢንቨርሱን አገኘን ማለት ነው። Okay. Again we have another example. If the relation R is given by R which is equal to xy such that y is equal to x minus 3 for the domain x minus 2 minus 1 1 3 then what is the domain of R inverse? Okay, the domain of this function is given, okay? Minus 2 minus 1 1 and 3 are the domain of this function. Domain ካልሰጠን ዶሜናችን the set of all real number እንደሆነ ያሰብን ነው የምንሰራ። አሁን ግን ዶሜናችን ተሰጥቶናል -2 -1 1 እና 3 ብቻ ናቸው። okay so what will be the corresponding range የዚህ ሪሌሽን ሬንጅ ማወቅ ያስፈልገናል ማለት ነው። okay አሁን ዶሜን እና ሬንጁን ካወቅን የሪሌሽኑ የኢንቨርሱን ዶሜን እና ሬንጅን በቀላሉ አወቅን ማለት ነው። ኦኬ ቅድም እንደተነጋገር ነው ዶሜን ኦፍ አር ኢዝ ኢኳል ቱ ሬንጅ ኦፍ አር ኢንቨርስ ኤንድ ሬንጅ ኦፍ አር ኢዝ ኢኳል ቱ ዶሜን ኦፍ አር። ኦኬ ሉክ ሌት ሚ ራይት ኢት ሂር domain of x or domain of r. Domain of r inverse is equal to domain of r inverse is equal to range of r, yes, and range of r inverse is equal to domain of r. Okay, so once we understand the domain and the range of a given relation, አንዳንድ ጊዜ የዶሜኑን የኢንቨርሱን ሬንጅ ወይም ዶሜን ልንጠየቅ እንችላለን። ኦኬ የኢንቨርሱን ዶሜን ወይም ሬንጅ ስንጠየቅ በቀጥታ ከኢንቨርሱ ላይ ዶሜኑና ሬንጁን ወይም ኢንቨርሱን መፈለግ ኢንቨርሱን በቀላሉ ላናገኘው እንችላለን። ሪሌሽኑ ተሰጥቶን ኢንቨርሱን መፈለግ እንቸገራለን አንዳንድ ጊዜ። ኢን ዛት ኬዝ ዶሜኑና ሬንጁን ግን ምንም ኢንቨርሱን ሳንፈልግ በቀላሉ ማወቅ እንችላለን ማለት ነው። ምክንያቱም የሬንጁ የሪሌሽኑ ዶሜን ለኢንቨርሱ ሬንጅ ነው ወይም ደግሞ የሪሌሽኑ ሬንጅ ለኢንቨርሱ ዶሜን ነው። ስለዚህ የሪሌሽኑን ዶሜን እና ሬንጅ አወቅን ማለት የኢንቨርሱን ዶሜን እና ሬንጅ አወቅን ማለት ነው ኢንቨርሱን ሳንፈልግ። ኦኬ without finding the inverse. Okay, let me show you both of the techniques. All right, if the relation r is given by r which is equal to xy such that y is equal to x minus 3 for the domain x which is equal to -2 -1 1 3, then what is the domain of r inverse? We are asked to find the domain of r inverse. Therefore it is enough to find the range of r. Okay, range of r ያስፈልገናል ማለት ነው። range of r. Okay, so ወይም ኦርደር ፔር ሪሌሽናችን ምንድን ነው? what is r first? r which is equal to x, y such that y is equal to x, y such that y is equal to x minus 3. To x minus 3. Now first when the value of x is -2, what is the corresponding value of y? Okay, so let me take በኤክስ ቦታ ኔጋቲቭ 2 እንተካና የዋይ ቫልዩ ስንት ይሆናል ነው። such that y is equal to 2 times በኤክስ ቦታ ስንት ተክተናል? ኔጋቲቭ 2 ተክተናል ማይነስ 3 እናደርጋለን። አሁን ይሄ ምን ይሆናል? -2 such that y is equal to 2 times -2 -4 -4 -3 -7. Okay, therefore this means -2, 7 is an element of r. -2 ዶሜን ከሆነ 7 ሬንጅ ነች ማለት ነው። በተመሳሳይ መንገድ በኤክስ ቦታ ኔጌቲቭ 1 እንተካለን። ኔጌቲቭ 1 ስንተካ y is equal to 2 times -1 -3 which is equal to -2 -3 which is equal to -5. okay, so የኤክስ ቫልዩ ኔጌቲቭ 1 ሲሆን የዋይ ቫልዩ ኔጌቲቭ 5 ነው ማለት ነው። so -1 -5 is an element of what? An element of r. And then what about when the value of x is 1? Okay, when the value of x is 1, okay, that means y is equal to 2 times 1 -3, which means 2 times 1 is 2, 2 minus 3 is -1. So the value of y is 1. When x is 1, the value of y is -1. This is an element of the given relation r. The last one is when x is 3. Yes, that means y which is equal to 2 times 3 -3, which is equal to 2 times 3 6. 6 minus 3, how much is it? 3. So y is equal to 3. What about x? X is 3. 3 is an element of what? R. Okay, therefore r means r which is equal to, okay, let me see on the next page. R is equal to xy. What are the elements? The elements are -2 7, -2 7, again -1 -5, -1 -5, and then 1 -1 and 3 3. 1 -1 and the last one 3, 3. These are elements of the given relation R, okay? These are elements of the given relation R. But we know that domain of R is given. Domain of R. Domain of R is the set of the first components, okay? The set of all the first x values. -2, -1, 1, and 3. These are given, okay? On the quotient, the domain is -2, -1, 1, and 3, okay? -2, -1, 1, and 3. What about range? Range of R is equal to the set of all second components, okay? The set of all second components, or the set of all y values, which is 7, -5, -1, and 3. This is a range. So I know that domain of, or range of Spater tried, we are asked to find domain is. So, okay, domain of R is domain of range of R inverse. We are asked to find range of R inverses. Range of R inverse. We are asked then what is the domain of R inverse? Sorry, not range of R, the domain of R inverse. Okay, domain of R inverse. Okay. Domain of R inverse is equal to what? Range of R, which is equal to, what is range of R? Range of R is 7, -5, -1, and 3. So this is the range of R inverse, okay? R inverse. Good. Now we have another question. Let R is equal to xy such that y is equal to the square root of x plus 4. Find the inverse of R, find domain of R, and find domain of R and domain of R inverse, find range of R and range of R inverse, okay? First, let us find R inverse. Okay, let R is equal to, look, let R is equal to xy such that xy such that xy such that y is equal to the square root of x plus 4. Y is equal to the square root of x plus 4. X plus 4. This is our relation. We are asked to find the inverse of this relation, okay? So R inverse is equal to xy such that ምንድን ነው የምናደርገው? በy ቦታ xን በx ቦታ y interchange x and y. X which is equal to the square root of y plus 4. Y plus 4, which means xy such that squaring both sides, x square is equal to y plus 4. I know this is a quadratic function, x comma y, such that write y in terms of x. Yes, y is equal to x square minus 4, okay? X square minus 4. This is the inverse, okay? The inverse of a square root function is a quadratic function. Usually, the inverse of a square root of function is quadratic function. Our relation is square root function, and its inverse is a quadratic function. Now, let me find the domain and range of R inverse, okay? Domain of R inverse. What is the domain of a quadratic function? It is a set of all real numbers. Okay, as we have discussed in the previous period, the domain and the range of every quadratic function is a set of all real, not the range, sorry, the domain, only the domain. The domain of every quadratic function is the set of all real number, but the range depends, okay? It depends on the nature of the given quadratic function, but the domain is always the set of all real number, whether it is an upward parabola or downward. The domain of every quadratic function is the set of all real numbers. So domain of R inverse is the set of all real number. and range of R inverse. What about the range? As you see, this is y is equal to x squared minus 4. We shift the graph of x squared, which is upward parabola whose vertex is at the origin, shifts downward 4 units, okay? The graph of the quadratic function, let me show you, okay? X and y. So this is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, right? So እዚህ ጋር የነበረው ግራፍ ኦኬ ኦሪጂኑ ቨርቴክሱ ኦሪጂኑ ላይ የነበረው ኤክስ ስኩዌር ወደ የት ይመጣል? 4 ዩኒት ወደ ታች ሽፍት ያደርጋል ማለት ነው። ኦኬ ሶ this is x square minus 4. So as you see, the range is greater than negative 4. So the range is from negative 4 to positive infinity, right? Or sometimes it can be written y such that y is an element of, or simply y, which is an element of real number, such that y is greater than or equal to negative 4, right? The range, both of them are the same, okay? We use interval. The interval form is minus 4 to 8, closed interval, negative 4. Y greater than or equal to negative 4 is it is inequality form, right? So anyways, the range of R inverse is y greater than or equal to negative 4 or above negative 4 and above negative 4. Good. Now, we are asked to find the inverse of R. The inverse of R is this one. This is R inverse, okay? This is the first one, R inverse, which is A. This is for A. And B, find the domain of R and domain of R inverse, okay? Domain of R inverse is R, so domain of R inverse, which is equal to the set of all real number. Again, this is range of what? Range of R. Range of R and range of R inverse is equal to minus 4 up to positive infinity, which is equal to domain of R. Domain of R. Find domain of R and domain of R inverse. Find range of R and range of R inverse, okay? So domain of R inverse. Domain of R inverse, this is B and this is C, okay? Good. This is all for inverse of relation R. እዚህ ጋር አርን በባለፈው ዲፋይን አድርገናል። ዛሬ ደግሞ ስለ አር ኢንቨርስ ተምረናል። ኢንቨርስ ኦፍ ሪሌሽን ማለት ነው። ኢንቨርስ ኦፍ ሪሌሽን ማለት ኢትስ ቬሪ ሲምፕል። ሪሌሽኑ ከተሰጠን ኢንቨርሱን ለማወቅ ኢንተርቼንጅ ማድረግ ነው። ኤክስ እና ዋይን ኢንተርቼንጅ በማድረግ ከዛ ዊ ራይት ዋይ ኢን ተርምስ ኦፍ ኤክስ ከጻፍን ኢንቨርሱን በቀላሉ አወቅን ማለት ነው። አንዱ ነገር። ሁለተኛውና መሰረታዊ ጉዳይ ደግሞ የሪሌሽኑ ዶሜን ለኢንቨርሱ ሬንጅ ነው። የሪሌሽኑ ሬንጅ ደግሞ ለኢንቨርሱ ዶሜን ነው ማለት ነው። እንዳትረሱ። ዌብሳይታችን lucybridgeacademy.com እየገባችሁ አጫጭር ኖቶችን ታገኛላችሁ። የፈተና ባንኮችን ወይም የጥያቄ ባንኮችን ታገኛላችሁ። እንዲሁም ደግሞ ከ5 ቋንቋዎች በላይ መረዳት የሚችል ፐርሰናላይዝድ ኤአይ አሲስታንስ ፕላትፎርም አለ። አሁኑኑ ዌብሳይታችንን ሰብስክራይብ ያደርጋችሁ ጆይን ማድረግ መቻል አለባችሁ ማለት ነው። እንዲሁም ደግሞ ለሌሎች ተማሪዎች በስፋት እንድንዳረስ የቴሌግራም ቻናላችንና የዩቲዩብ ቻናላችንን ጆይን እና ሰብስክራይብ ማድረጋችሁን አትርሱ። እስካሁን አብሬያችሁ የቆየሁት መምህር እሸቱ ነኝ። በሚቀጥለው ቪዲዮ እስከምንገናኝ ሰላም ሁኑ።